Hey, book dragons and wine lovers.
If you're like us, you love pairing a good cocktail or wine with a book. So we have a question for you. What if you could get lost in a swoon-worthy magical world paired with the perfect glass of wine? We have good news. Bookish Wine.
It's a subscription box that comes out quarterly, and it's dedicated to the glorious genre of romantasy. Every 3 months, you get a beautiful special edition romantasy book and an artisan-crafted bottle of wine. It's custom-made to match the world and the theme of that exact book. They do the pairing, so all you have to do is sip, read, and escape into the fantasy realm.
Ready to upgrade your reading nights? Head over to www.bookishwine.com. That's BOOKISHWINE.com.
Use our code PLOTTWISTPODCAST and you'll receive a signed copy of the December book. Start reading, sipping, and experiencing the magic today.
Welcome to Plot Twist. I'm Kai.
I'm Mel.
And we read Quicksilver by Callie Hart, which is the first book in the Fate and Alchemy series. Brimstone is releasing November 18th. What are we pairing our episode with today, Melly?
The Quicksilver Quencher that came from
Fiction and Fizz.
It's a 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of lychee puree, half an ounce of Cointreau, 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, and silver edible glitter.
So what was your spice rating for this book, Mel?
3.
I agree with you. It was
rougher.
It was yummy. It was delicious. And I loved it.
There wasn't a lot.
No, but it was fantastic.
Okay. Well, listen to the audio.
Some of those scenes, I was doing the audio and reading at the same time. So the immersive reading, and it was amazing. And I highly recommend it. Holy moly. Kingfisher's voice. But anyway, what was your star rating?
7.
7. I love that you're up there, girl. Holy shit. I'm shocked that you're up there. I'm like a 5+, so I'm up there with you.
The second that I finished it, I was screaming. I was so happy. It hit like all the nice ending points that I like. And yeah, so it didn't matter really what happened, I think, in the middle or if I had an issue. I just loved the ending so much.
It did tie it kind of in a bow in a way. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there's more to come in book 2. And if it were to end, it'd be fine. But we waited a really, really long time to read this book. This is one of the books where when we decided to do this podcast together that we were like, Quicksilver's on the list. It's in the top beginning of the list. So I think part of the reason we waited because we knew Brimstone would be out at the end of this year. And also there was a lot of mixed reviews. Didn't you see that too? There was a lot of people that were DNFing, like hard DNFs.
Well, so at first I heard nothing but good things. And then of course, as we're getting closer to reading it, closer to when Brimstone's going to come out, all of a sudden now everybody with the negatives are starting to come out of the woodwork. Like, oh, it was a letdown for me. So I started getting a little nervous, but I'm glad that I read it.
When we were like, we're doing it, I was like, I'm really scared because I don't want to be like in that percentage that hates it. Because it was so weird that there was multiple people I talked to recently that literally had DNF'd it. And I was like, I wonder what it is, though. I think it was it 2024? This book was published. So it's not that long ago, obviously. And I think it had like a huge impact at the beginning. So if you DNF'd it, I want to know why. I'm curious. So let us know if it was not the book for you. But we loved it, clearly.
Yeah, I loved it. So I did not read the blurb.
Me neither.
Not read the blurb. I thought it was just Fae. And then I did read the blurb a little bit after starting the book. And I saw the alchemy thing. And I was like, okay, there'll be an alchemist. It'll probably be Saeris because I already started reading and she's the main female. And there was something weird with the gauntlets. Yeah, but I liked how they did it. I liked how it wasn't all at the beginning and you were inundated with magical beings and then you're just confused and you don't know who's who and whatnot. I like how it was very like, here's humans, never dying queen, fae, and then at the end it's like, oh, also vampires and witches.
And then the gods. That just happened to pop in there.
Well, there's always gods,
cool,
right?
Though. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, I did not expect the god thing at all. And then it took me a second to realize the twins.
That they were gods. They were the sun, the two sons,
They were the twins, the twin sons, yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, oh, that's who they are.
Yeah, but I mean, I knew there was going to be gods because in all of these books, they're like, oh, gods, you know?
Yeah, they reference them, right? They never actually show up in it. So that for them to actually have a character in it was really cool. Like that was different.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah, I know that was like a little bit of a shock to Kai at the end because she was like, I feel like so much is happening. And I was just like soaking it all in. Like,
With
yeah.
fantasy romantasy, it's like, it's always like slow burn. And then some things happen. Maybe it's the romance in the middle. And then the end is always like boom, 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 boom. And that's what it was in this book for me too. And I think I told you, it was like, I want to order Brimstone because I'm already loving this. And of course, I'm an idiot. And I read part of the blurb, which literally says that she's going to be something about being queen. And I was like, ah, fuck, I just ruined part of this book for myself. And it messed with my head. And I was this close to changing the rating because I felt like I ruined it for myself. I'm just mad at myself. I'm never going to do that again. Forget it. Don't let me read a blurb. Just don't. I don't usually. I'm not doing it again.
It's funny because you said going into this book you didn't read the blurb and then you read the blurb for the next book.
I'm like kicking myself because I was like, oh, I should order Brimstone now because, you know, it's coming out in like a month.
Yeah. And not to mention our entire feed is about books. So you're bound to like stumble upon something at some point, like me with ACOTAR, Throne of Glass series.
That's what I avoid. But I actually haven't seen like spoilers besides like knowing that Saeris and Kingfisher are together because that's where all the character art you see is. And I've always heard the name Carrion, so I know he's somebody.
Really? I never heard of his name.
Yeah, I heard like somebody say something about Carrion versus Kingfisher, like who would you pick kind of thing. And I was like, so obviously he's a character, but yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to be maybe the main male character at the beginning. Like meeting him and he's like flirty and I liked him right away because like they have a little bit of a history, like they've slept together in the past. And then I thought, oh, maybe he's going to be the guy. But then I always knew there was a Kingfisher because I've seen that name before.
So I read the book and right off the rip, she is caught up in a altercation with the Guardian, and the Guardian seemed to have been kind of quieter and looked at her with like sad eyes and like let her go, so to speak, and was like, girl, you're gonna kill yourself. I thought he was gonna be the main character 100%. So I remember telling Kai this and Kai was like, no, I did not think that. I'm like, oh, just me then. Okay.
Like, did you think he was going to be Kingfisher? Because you obviously have heard that name before too, then.
I thought so, yeah, because my cousin was reading this and she was like, oh, Kingfisher. And I was like, girl, I didn't read it yet. And she was like, ignore what I'm saying then. And so I knew there was a Kingfisher, but the Guardian didn't have a name. He was just introduced as the Guardian. So I therefore never thought it was Carrion. Because Carrion and Kingfisher don't sound the same.
For some reason, I thought that he was going to have some sort of relationship with her, though. It just seemed like it. Like the way they were bantering, and she kind of like hates him, but she also kind of is obviously attracted to him. So,
well, about the gauntlet, there's some weird magic thing happening with the gauntlet when she was like trying to climb the wall. And right there, that's when I remembered the blurb saying something about an alchemist. So I was like, you ain't a human, honey. So that part wasn't too much of a surprise. With this whole gauntlet, she steals it, and then we know Madra would not be happy about this. So she is the queen of Zilvaria. She basically hoards all the metals so that she can maintain power while also depriving the citizens of basic needs like water. Like they could only get a few ounces a day. And citizens are just cruel, in my opinion. They're like killing each other for food, for water, just to get by. They will rat you out to each other just if it saves them a little bit. So let's just say I wasn't completely surprised when I find out later on Madra's working with Malcolm, who ends up being the big bad of the book. Well, we haven't met Bellicott just yet.
True, but there's a couple of them were obviously working together. I didn't expect that, but we'll talk about that more.
I had a feeling Bellicott and Malcolm were working together. I definitely thought Madra was sus, but I didn't.
She was weird as fuck.
They were all together.
Yeah,
just freaky.
Yeah, she was definitely weird the way she was talking and stuff. So I'm like, there's way more going on with her than we know. But obviously, I didn't expect her to show up at the end like that with them, though.
Nope.
That was like a really nice plot twist that I liked.
And then, so Saeris isn't just watching out for herself. She's watching out for her younger brother, Hayden, and she's very fiercely protective of him, even though he is certifiably an idiot. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. The guy, like, literally tries to off himself. He's getting into fights. He just gets into little trouble here and there. He doesn't sit still. He doesn't listen. If she tells him don't do something, he does the complete opposite. Like, here, hold my bag, that I'm not going to tell you what's in it because it's contraband. And he runs off with it to go sell it. And it's like, oh, dude. And that's what caused this entire mess to happen.
And he's betting, and that's when she runs into Carrion at the beginning.
At a bar, tavern,
like
whatever.
I feel like he's just rebelling because there's nothing better to do. I don't know. And he pissed me off. He really did, because I felt bad for her. Like, you're trying to be supportive of him, get him food, and keep the kid alive, obviously, because they're in this what is it called, Section 3 or whatever the hell, and it's supposed to be infested and contagious and all this shit.
Which is a lie.
So yeah, it obviously is, but it pissed me off the way he's acting. And in the moment she gets mad at him and she's trying to save him, she's calling him names and saying he's a brat, and he gets all upset. He's like, sorry, I was such a burden. And that hurt. I felt really bad for both of them in that moment, but I realized why she was doing it, to get him to go to save him. So she was trying to hurt him enough.
For me, that was a get dog, get moment. And it's throwing rocks at him and just go away. And it's like, no. Yeah. And that's how they end the entire relationship in this book. They never see each other again in this book. And that also breaks me.
Because the whole time she's trying to get back to him. She wants to save him. But then when you find out where he is later, you're hoping he's not dead, right? Because the Queen Madra threatens to kill everybody in that section where they live. Just level them all out. She's pissed. So she's thinking either he's dead or, luckily we find out later that he is alive and he's doing pretty well, it sounds like.
Yeah, Carrion hooked him up, I guess, right after she disappeared and got carted away by the Guardians and the captain of the guard. So she basically dies right after getting caught. And she meets the captain of the Guardian, Heron. Heron works for Madra, and he's given the order to kill her and then go decimate her zone. So it was very rough to read. She gets stabbed in the gut, pinned up against the wall, and then finally something must snap in her, and she starts controlling his dagger. Not the sword that she's impaled with, but it must be a magical dagger because there were runes.
Stab her in the neck, right? And it melts in his hand. That was cool.
She liquefied it, and then it just starts crawling up his leg and making its way up to his head. And the guy is bugging out during this entire ordeal. And when I first listened to it, so I did go back at the end, physically instead of listening, I reread it and I realized, so I thought she killed him with the putrefied or melted dagger. Turns out he just was turned mad by the Quicksilver in the dagger.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going on, because it seemed like he was losing his shit. And I was like, wait, why is that happening?
At the moment, we didn't know what Quicksilver was, and we didn't know it made people mad. So, crazy mad. And he literally just starts talking to himself, screaming this just bizarro things. So I just kind of went with the motions when I was audiobooking it, and I didn't think much of it. But it's crazy because he comes back at the end of the book with silver eyes, pure silver, not like Kingfishers with the specks that swirl. These are pure. So that was a rough part, but so good.
I was like, it was brutal, dude. And I'm listening to this on the way to work one day, and I was just like, this is so good. Don't die. What? Don't die yet. It's just, we just started.
I was really torn because Heron kept making comments, almost reluctant comments. He didn't want to kill her. He was doing her a favor. I'm going to try and kill you quick. Just make some really good noise so the queen is happy and feels like I did a good job on you. But I could make this so much worse. I am giving you a favor. And he kept saying stuff like that, and like his actions, like I don't know if he like looked at her with like regret or pause. So I'm thinking like he's gonna, turn around and save her, but no, he didn't. And that's when I felt happy about the whole like silver thing.
I thought like supposedly the queen is human, but I was like, there's no way she's controlling him 100%. Like he said she won't let me die or some shit like that. So I'm like, how is she controlling him if she's not human? Is it magic? Is she like, she says she's human, but she's a witch or something like that? Like, I don't know. That was like in the back of my head with that, but wasn't really sure where that was going to go.
Well, he's not lying. She won't let him die because if she is a vampire, then she can make him possibly into an undead, basically. So finally, we meet Kingfisher. Whirls in to the rescue because, of course, our girl picks up some magical sword as she's dying, and he comes out.
The sword in the stone, like fucking Disney.
Oh, Kai just had a
Sorry.
moment.
Okay. The sword in the stone. Like it reminds me of like the sword in the stone.
Okay, I never watched it, but I know like I've heard of the sword in the stone and whatnot. So I saw that in my head of her pulling it out. But then everything turns into, my daughter's obsessed with lava right now. The floor is lava. No, the floor is Quicksilver.
The floor is Quicksilver. Look out.
The floor is Quicksilver, and then this massive dude, obviously Kingfisher. And now I'm like, here he is. And he's hot, he's broody, he's massive, naturally. And he comes in and he looks at her, ready to kill her, but then he notices she's holding the sword. In retrospect, now we know the sword is his father's.
And it like called out to him when the Quicksilver was finally like moving again, lavaing again.
The reason he doesn't kill her is not because he recognizes her yet. Is because she's holding the sword. You can't hold a sword, a magical sword, a god sword, unless you are the owner of it, if the sword chose you, or if you're an alchemist. In this case, I think she's both.
I also agree with you.
Maybe not both, but I think it's both. I think because he basically gives her the sword at the end of the book.
Yeah,
and she was, that. And then I remembered that might be why, because she's already wielded him. Or her. I don't know what the genders are of these.
And she does a good job with it also. And I also feel like it's like he loves her and it's like kind of like an endearment thing. Like, this is my father's sword and I want you to have it kind of thing because you've earned it and I love you and you're my mate and all this shit, you know? So I was like, oh, it was so cute.
So he saves her. And in order to save her, because she's definitely dead, like her insides, it's very vivid. Trigger warning. If you read this book, you know what we're talking about. Like entrails are all hanging out and stuff. And
like she's like dying real soon. Like death is coming. It's calling her. So she thinks he's death, which is so funny to me. It's like, he's here for me, but he's hot. Death's bringing me here, but he's hot. Take me to the Quicksilver with your hot self.
That's what Kai will say.
The Grim Reaper is a hottie. Come get me, boy.
Oh, is this how you get your people? So he puts his magical amulet that was given to him by his mother around her neck. I guess not only does it keep the Quicksilver in him at bay, it also apparently heals people who are literally at death's doorstep.
I think it was also protecting her from the Quicksilver. That was the thing, because you can't go through the Quicksilver without having effects of it getting into you and making you a little crazy. And that's why he has it in him in the first place, because he's gone into the Quicksilver without the protection of it. And that's why he puts it on her, knowing that he's already been affected. Let me just protect her.
Yeah, because I guess he has a silver ring.
But you're protecting her right away, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. So she wakes up and she meets Everlane. Personally, I could give two shits about Everlane. Everlane was like the most two-dimensional character ever. I don't know if it was the audio version of her that also triggered me a little, that she was like all spark. Like she was just too emotional. She was just so upset over Kingfisher. She was so wowed by the human. And even Kingfisher says to her, like, oh, you could keep your pet or whatever, meaning Saeris. So I personally was like, I couldn't care less about Everlane. She had no character development because she was barely in the book. So
Yeah, she was
that
really only in
might
a
be,
small portion.
that would probably add to why I think she was very two-dimensional. But we also meet Renfis. Now, I don't know about you, but was there a thing between Everlane and Renfis?
Thought there was, honestly, because he seemed protective of her too. And she seemed like, when she first sees him, it's like, like, what are you doing here? I
Yeah.
think there could be something there, but I'm not 100% certain. I got that vibe maybe, but I think they hadn't seen each other in a long time either. So I don't know if just because that's like Kingfisher's best friend, and obviously Everlane is Kingfisher's half sibling, that they're close too. But
Well,
that was my guess.
The whole wolf lupoprolia thing, like being brothers in a sense, it makes sense. Like you take on your brother's half sibling family as your own. So it could be even that. We might be looking too far into it. Maybe they don't have a relationship. But either way, I like Renfis. Renfis was kind of funny. Renfis was like subtle, but also not subtle. He was like not even shy about acting like being a matchmaker.
Right.
And he was fiercely protective of even the human, Saeris, when Kingfisher kind of tricked her into a blood oath.
Yeah, and I almost felt like he was Kingfisher's like voice of reason in a way, the best friend that's keeping him like level when obviously it's kind of a shit show for him. Like his mind's fucked up for the Quicksilver, but he's also been gone for 110 years and he can't speak about it. So it's like he's also giving Kingfisher the benefit of the doubt all the time and always backing him up. Like he's a good guy. He's just going through a lot. Like that's always his thing. And I thought I just liked even like the interactions with him and Saeris. I really liked, and like him and Carrion like were funny as shit to me. Like the two of them together. I love it. I actually thought Carrion was hitting on Renfis at one point. He was like, "Hey."
I mean, Carrion would literally
Carrion
hit
hits on
on
everybody.
a rock.
He's a little pimp. He's a little pimp daddy. Okay. He's like, "Oh, I never had sex with a witch. You want to go do?"
Say, hey, that might be fun.
Yeah, he's so funny.
You know, you could literally tell him like they only have like 3 legs and they have, you know, bat eyes or something. And he'd be like, let's go. Couldn't cross that off my bucket list. So in regards to Renfis, he kind of disappears at some point towards the end of the book and then comes back in. But he basically throws her to dinner with Kingfisher when they clearly can't stand each other. And Renfis is definitely, like you said, the guy like backing him up. Now, this kind of reminded me of, is it Stasia Stark's books where there's the broody, misunderstood main male character that doesn't seem like he has a heart, and you find out like when you go to their hometown that they saved them a bunch of times. He's the sole reason like everyone's alive. So I felt like when Kingfisher finally does bring her to his hometown, everyone like loves him. And then there was a statue of his mother in the village. So
speaking of his mother,
yeah, Mama Dearest was an oracle and foreshadowed Saeris coming in, but as a fae.
Yeah, there's literally like a diary that mommy kept, and there's notes about him meeting her, and she's drawn to look like her, but with the ear tips that makes her fae. So that's how she interpreted it, that she was supposed to be.
And the canines.
Canines. Is this the first book where the fae actually like bite each other?
That I've
blood
seen
for pleasure during sex?
Well, I think that's a vampire thing.
Whole another level.
But
yeah, but well, there's something about a curse, right? And then some of them turn and then some don't. And that's why they still have the canines, correct? So I thought that was interesting. Got cursed. That was an interesting twist, though.
That part was where the only part of the magic world kind of confused me a little. I may have like glazed over that part while
might have blacked out a little there. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot. But I do remember seeing the Dianthus. But Dianthus was... that family name was supposed to be the true heir to the Fae throne, and Bellicon was going to definitely off that family. So Carrion is Dianthus's heir and got ushered by Kingfisher's father to the mortal world and trapped there. So he got passed down generation to generation by humans just to keep him safe. But I texted Kai saying, like, 3/4 of the way in the book, honestly, I like Carrion more than Kingfisher.
I love Carrion. I love him.
Carrion was kind of a good.
Hilarious.
He was hilarious, but he was also like a good friend. And I'm not gonna lie, I might be biased because he kind of reminds me of my husband, because my husband's a jokester, and you know he's always checking in on people. He actually does care, and he even does that with her. Like he's helped her so many times that Saeris was in a bind and couldn't figure out like the riddle or something, or how to talk to the Quicksilver. He's like, why don't you just fucking talk to it?
Why don't you just ask
Mr.
it
Obvious.
what it wants?
Literally, Mr. Obvious.
What it needs in order to be magical and do what you need it to do.
Mm-hmm.
No way. It was that easy.
So I thought they had banter. I never thought Kingfisher and Saeris had banter, but I definitely think Carrion carried that part of the...
Yeah, he's certainly the comic relief, and he's a pervert, so I love that about him.
Definitely a pervert.
Especially the scene. Can we just talk about the scene where Kingfisher tells him he has to take a bath because he smells like pheromones from Saeris on him, and then he's got these little freaking water sprites like massaging with leaves, and he basically like has a foursome with the freaking sprites in the tub while he's getting washed, and she's just like, you would do that.
She's like so upset.
She's just like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I don't know. I do what feels good.
Listen, when life hands you lemons, Carrion makes lemonade, all right.
Oh, yeah. But there's so many times where I thought he was going to be more than just a human, because he just happened to be thinking in the right way. And obviously they do mention that his family talked about Fae regularly, like his grandmother or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. But then the thing with the Quicksilver, when he says just talk to it, and then other little things here and there, yes, he's training to fight with Renfist too, and he kind of sucked at the beginning, but then he's doing it and he's keeping up. I was like, there's more to that.
He's obsessed with learning how to fight.
Yes. And then when she creates the sword and the Quicksilver asks for jokes and he's telling like the dirty jokes and stuff, I just thought it was funny. Carrion's over there just telling dirty jokes to the Quicksilver. Then he cuts himself and it's like, yes, we accept you. You're honorable. And I was like, he's got to be Fae.
She said a really bad dad joke, right, to the Quicksilver, and the Quicksilver, nothing. Crickets. Usually the Quicksilver kind of like fucks with her or chit chats with her. This Quicksilver was just stone cold, not talking back. And then after saying that, it needed a joke. And then that's when Carrion says a joke and she vividly hears a tiny little chuckle. And that's when he cut himself on the blade. And I was like, oh shit, Carrion. But I had a suspicion when he said his grandma told him stories of the Fae and that he stuck with it. And he was still really knowledgeable about it. I was like, I feel like there's a reason why Grandmama told you those stories.
And then at the end, it makes sense because like he's baiting Malcolm to bite him on purpose. And Saeris is like, what are you doing, bro? And he gives her like a face, like as a signal, I got this. And I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, oh my God, he's going to die. And then all of a sudden Malcolm's biting him and sucking his blood. And then all of a sudden Malcolm's going down. I'm like, what the hell just happened? So then it's like, you finally realize that he has the blood of the Dianthus and it's like poisonous. So they can't be drained or whatever. So that was really freaking cool.
By the people that created them in the first place. So I don't exactly remember. I found one part in the book where it mentioned the Dianthus when I went back, but I swear there was something a little more in depth about the Dianthus, like family line and how it related to the curse. But I think it was something along the lines of like they created the vampires in the first place and you can't bite the blood of one that created you, I think.
Something like that. I was like, who the heck is that? I had to go back to. But I just wanted to mention the sense in this book. Did you notice that like it is mentioned so many times that Kingfisher sensed Saeris's scent on Carrion because they slept together, and then every time that they do something she's like, they could smell that we had sex, they can smell my pheromones. I was like, how many times are they talking about the smell of sex in this book? I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, is there a candle like pheromones of the Fae?
Oh God, we need something to burn it. Well, they said that they needed bonfires to help kind of kill that smell too. But
in certain baths, like you have to like, I just thought it was funny.
I'm not too surprised about it, honestly. They said they had to like scrub Carrion raw, basically, to get anything off of him. Like they were like sandpapering him, trying to get it off.
Right. Right. And like I know like in most of these books the Fae have superior hearing, superior smell. So it makes sense. I just thought it was mentioned like, I don't know. I should have went back to count because I was like, how many times did they mention the sex smells in this book?
It's like maybe don't have sex. Oh my God, when Archer walked in after and was like, here's some snacks to recharge yourself. And she's just like mortified. Mortified. I'm mortified for her.
I'm embarrassed for you, Saeris Fane. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. It's like, what if your parents hear you kind of thing? Like that was the Archer moment for me. Like TMI, like, no, thank you. Archer, just pretend you see nothing, you hear nothing, you smell nothing. But, oh, that bitch. What's her name? I hated her so much at the end.
Danya. She pissed me off, man. I wanted to smack her. I wanted to bitch slap her, actually.
What a little bitch. Like, literally, and someone else mentioned this at one point. She was, like, on her period the entire time. Like, she was mood swinging. She was angry. She was always, like, having a conniption at every turn. So when the sword reassigned itself to when finally she cracked the code of creating an artifact or a god sword, she broke Danya's sword and was trying to put it back together for her to maybe like rekindle a possibility of a relationship with Danya. Remakes the sword, and then Lorith gets the sword.
Yeah.
Which
I love him also.
I love him. So he deserved that sword. But
yeah,
that was so
the funny
bad.
ways he accidentally cut himself because it's so sharp. But the sweet thing was that he like designed like the handle with the wood and stuff, and I was like, it's meant for him. And yeah, I love that. I really liked him a lot too. I really liked his character. I feel like he came in a little bit later, but
he was just like a softie. He was like permanent softie. Like you met him, he was soft spoken, he was quiet, and he was always really kind. And I love that about him. So I was all for him having the sword, where Danya was a complete fucking opposite. So when she burned her hand off, oh, that's when we find out you can't touch a god sword. And she lost a fucking hand. But it's okay. We're starfish. We grow back, apparently. With a good healer.
Yeah, the healers were able to grow their hand back. That was interesting.
Oh, I had like Deadpool moment where I'm like, oh, she definitely is like, this is her hand after the healer gets to her. Like it's like slowly growing back. Danya, this is my strong hand.
Yes.
That part might need to be a clip going on social media.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Danya. This is my strong hand.
Bitch. I really...
she deserved it.
She really pissed me off in the scene where... And Saeris doesn't realize where she's sitting. It's really reserved for Kingfisher's mate or whoever, right? And Danya doesn't realize, right? But she's like getting on her for where she's sitting. And I was like, this bitch... The whole time she's bitching at Fisher that he's been gone. Now she's bitching about her sword. Now she's bitching where she's sitting. I'm like, can you just fucking go? Just.
I was waiting for somebody to say it though, because I was like, they keep talking about this fucking seat, about the fire sprites freaking out. Archer basically internally combusting, literally, because he's a fire sprite. When he walked in with like dessert when they were eating dinner, it was like,
oh my God, I love the little sprites. But yeah, I was like, what is it with the freaking chair? Oh, it's reserved for his like.
Yeah, but coming from her was 10 times worse. It could have came from literally anyone, but
right.
Yeah, literally, it was great. I just like how, I think it was Renfis. He was like, Danya, sit down and shut the fuck up. Like, it's old news. Get over it. So we get to the end.
So basically, Everlane falls through a fucking shadow gate from the ceiling, like 13 feet in the air or some shit. Just falls to the ground, bit by a vampire. She's going to either die or turn, right? They're all in the library, and they only have a few seconds before it closes to jump through to get to where Kingfisher is, because he just up and leaves.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like picturing them boosting each other up into this fucking thing. And it's just, let me give you a boost. And
it's
they
just
go into
a fucking disaster.
What is the place called? I call it like, it was like hell, basically. And I felt like it was just like one of those, you know, like in Rome, like the Colosseum. This is how I'm picturing it, like a Colosseum filled with like all the spectators that are really like fae that are stuck in limbo, basically, right?
More. Anna Rath, more. Chanting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then that's when you see Malcolm and Madra and Bellicon. They're all fucking working together.
And
And
Kingfisher.
poor Kingfisher was pulled into it. Do you want to explain why he was pulled into it?
So obviously, the entire book, we are hinting at Kingfisher was basically MIA for a long time. And where did he go? He abandoned his Lupa Prolia or whatever, his brother, and he was like in a fight, and then poof, he was out of the fight and everyone was gone. So he made a bet. This is his first time dealing, I think, with blood oaths. And I think this is why he's so good at them when he was making them with Saeris, is because he fucked up royally. So when he was with Bellicon and they were making a deal. This is when he first found out Bellicon was a baddie, and they were out on the battlefield, and Bellicon came up with a coin toss. And if he flipped it and it landed a certain way, he would meet him out on the battlefield. And then I forget what the other way was. But until it hit the ground, the battle would still enrage or whatever. So he agreed. He blood oathed it with him. He didn't catch the trick where he didn't say when the coin hits the ground. So he held on to the coin and hid it somewhere so it never hit the ground after it got flung.
Yeah, he snatched it and hid it in this massive labyrinth that was created by Malcolm, right?
So he said, if you can find the coin, get through the labyrinth, find the coin, then you could flip it, blah, 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 blah.
And save all these hundreds and hundreds of Fae. That he was forced to basically kill them all and keep them in this limbo, and it would free them all if he can get to this coin as well.
So I think he ended up torching everybody, the entire city, because otherwise they would live in this endless limbo of death anyway. So
which they were for all these years.
Yeah, so he ends up killing everyone.
Yeah, and he's in this labyrinth that's brutal. There's all kinds of creatures, and he's trying to make his way to the center of the labyrinth to get to this coin. And I think it said he took I want to say 50 years to even be able to get to the center. And then he's looking for the coin for another 8 years. And that's when the Quicksilver awakened and he got the calling from the sword, and he goes and he finds Saeris. That's the only way he got out of there. But I was like, why did it take him so long to find the coin? Why couldn't he find the coin? I'm like, what the hell?
And then we find out why.
Yes, the whole thing happens when Carrion's Malcolm bites him, and then he goes down, and they're all fighting each other. Saeris is fighting Heron, and Bellicon and Laurent, and they're all there. And Carrion falls into the fucking labyrinth. He falls down the stairs. Anyway, they're in the labyrinth, and it's changing its ways on them, and there's two parts in this book that made me gag. The first one where she's getting killed at the beginning, but then the fucking spider in the labyrinth, this freaking huge spider. I'm sorry, I don't care how big it is. I hate spiders, even if they're this freaking small.
Why are they all in fucking books? It's literally the worst thing ever. They're always in these books. They were in Harry Potter. They were in many other books. And they're always giant and just evil and just...
Because they're yucky. Well, anyway, so my favorite thing, I loved the freaking labyrinth part. I thought it was so cool. I honestly wish that scene was longer, them trying to get through the maze. And I wish they had a little bit more, things to get through, honestly, in that part.
Trials.
Yeah, I wish there was more there. I thought it was conveniently they got through a little easily after the spider, because she's able to get right to the center. But then you fucking realize why he can't find the coin, because there's millions of fucking coins, like a fucking teepee. Can't find it, but it's not there anyway. It's in the mouth of the fucking spider. No.
Yeah, fuck that. That's
gotta go. I'm
ick,
leaving.
ick.
You guys go for it. I gotta go. I'm running the other way.
Right.
Fucking peace out.
Yep, that's where I would be like, you know what? It was a good life. Yeah, no thanks.
It's no, that's the part.
I think I like this book so much because there weren't, it's probably completely hyper unrealistic of me to think this way. I'm a sucker for a happy ending. This book had, to me, a happy ending. In a not so perfect world, I think this would have been a perfect time to kill somebody. is during that spider thing. I was like, Carrion's dead. Yep. He's going to die.
I'm like, I don't think Kingfisher's dying, and I don't think she's going to die. Even though the whole God binding thing, the mates thing, one of them typically dies. So I'm like, oh my God, is Kingfisher going to die at the end of this and leave her alone? Because I couldn't imagine her dying, because she almost died like already. And she's dying at the end here too. So I'm like, is one of them going to die? Because like every prophecy that they've heard of, these God bindings, which is not very common, there's only been like one other one that they've ever really known of, right? And it's like written about in books because it's like a Romeo and Juliet, one of them dies or they both die situation. So I was like, please don't kill anybody. And I was really pleasantly surprised when no one died there.
Yeah. Well, Saeris died many times.
Well, she really technically did die like twice, right? And at that scene,
Literally.
technically, I think she does die. And what's the guy? Talladega?
What the fuck?
What's his
Taladius or something.
So Taladius is a vampire, and he's been with Malcolm this whole time, but now that Malcolm is dead, he's free to like do his thing, and Saeris is dying. Kingfisher basically gives him consent to turn her, because there's no way there's time to get her to the healers. It's like this or that. She dies or I turn her into a vampire. And I feel like she kind of
she stopped responding because she said no to something else. And she didn't want to be forced to say yes, but then she stopped responding. And then Kingfisher took it upon himself to say, yes, she wants to be changed. And I really thought she was going to use that against him when she came back after talking to the god of chaos. I thought she was going to come back pissed. I was like, here comes the third act breakup again. Like, here we go. But no.
Because this whole time, she doesn't want him controlling her just because they have that blood oath between them. She's like, if you do it again, I swear to God, I don't care if you're my mate or whatever. I'm gone. I'm done. So I did expect that when they were to meet again, I thought she was going to rip him a new one, but she didn't.
So 2 things. Shout out, because this leads into my second thing. Shout out to the fox, Onyx.
Oh, yes.
He's one of my favorite characters. He's a animal pet, and he's just so sweet to her, and just, I love him. But when Kingfisher has almost like a night terror, and he's laying in bed, I definitely struggled reading that part. It was very almost like cringy to me because he was so out of character for like the entire book, like that one spot. And I'm not going to lie, all I can imagine, and I am sorry, my husband does love me, I swear, but I'm going to call him out. He gets Charlie horses sometimes in the middle of the night. And when I tell you, I'm reading this or listening to this part, and I'm like, oh my God, it's my husband. He's having a Charlie horse. It's Kingfisher. He's having a Charlie horse. It's like the world's worst thing, but like literally how he acts is how my husband acts when he gets one of those. And he's just like sitting there screaming.
Mine too, he gets it sometimes.
And he just screams. Like my husband just is sitting there laying in bed, just screaming at his leg.
Oh
he's like, God. Stop it. Just break already, damn it. And he's like screaming and like you can like hear him all tense and stuff. And like I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Because you can't help someone when they're going through a Charlie horse.
Oh no, it's awful.
100%. The entire time I was laughing, but also cringing because it's the only weak point of Kingfisher the entire time, really. And I just couldn't stop laughing because I could just see my husband.
You're not going to comfort him the way that she does him.
No, I gave up doing that. I just like
crying and yelling.
I think the last few times he woke me up because obviously. So of course I wake up freaked out. And then when I realize what's happening, I'm like, you should drink more water before going to bed. And I turn over and I go back to bed.
Drink some more water, buddy. Be a little more hydrated. You'll be good. Oh
like, can you go die like in the other room real quick? Like if you're going to sit there and
I
Charlie horse.
Used to get those multiple times a week when I was pregnant. It was fucking horrible though. Both freaking calves would be like,
you're like, yeah, that was my moment. Kingfisher, I know how you feel.
So now I know. If you're wondering how Kingfisher is feeling in that moment, just get a couple of Charlie horses in your calves. It's great.
I just so poo-pooed his whole like torture moment, but okay.
No, that was rough though. I was like, oh my gosh, this Quicksilver's doing a number on him. Holy shit. I liked how supportive she was, though.
Yeah,
I really
that
do
was bad.
like how they grew together. I wanted to mention, I thought it was really cool how, you know how like obviously in a lot of the books when there's a mating bond they get like a tattoo. I really liked how the tattoo literally went from his
Crawled.
skin onto hers and created these other tattoos. That was really freaking cool. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. And she had like the little bird one and then the ones on the hands that meant all different things. And then the God binding one around the wrist. There were some really cool things about this book. And that was one of the ones I really liked.
Like it. I really liked that it's in a way like marking, but I'm starting to get like a little over all the ink in all of these books. Like I don't mind ink.
I
Like I have
want
a
ink to
tattoo,
happen to me. I want a tattoo like that.
but like everybody in
Where's
these books
mine?
like have full on sleeves, like the women, the men, like, and it's like everyone. It's not just like one person. And
Yeah.
like, oh, in order to be, God bound or whatever, you had to get like fully tatted. It's just funny.
I think it was just mates in general have tattoos, but the God ones were a little more detailed and stuff. There's like
Aww.
the extra ones.
Well, there was Talia. She put tattoos on herself, like as a marriage thing with her husband.
Because he's not her real mate. Because it's not that common.
Yeah, but they love each other enough, and in a way, I was like, oh, that's kind of
That's so
sweet. But see, to me, that's a choice. And I felt like she didn't have that choice. It just appeared after having sex. It's not like she said to herself, well, it did at the end. Once she accepted him as her mate,
Well,
they
that's what I'm
came
saying. She
back.
has like there's a certain time frame where they either need to accept the bond or not. And if they don't accept it, I think like that's just it. It's over or they can't try to get it back. So either they accept it or they don't. And he was able to like hide them until she was kind of ready. And he does accept it at the end before he decides to peace out and go save Everlane. This freaking guy gave me a little bit of like he was making me dizzy. 1 minute you want her, then you're disappearing for days, then you want her to be your mate, and then you're like, dude, you're killing me.
That's why I'm Team Carrion, to be honest. I know that's not an option, but I like Carrion.
But we could do a threesome because Carrion's into that, or a why choose situation. I was waiting for Carrion. To be like, so since you guys are mates, can I like join in with you guys? I like him. I'd like to see him like meet somebody and have his little love. Maybe we'll get another love story in the next book for him. Or Lorith or
Now,
Renfis.
if this is the trend that we're going to keep having in this series, like where we end on pretty positive notes, I'm not saying that's likely going to happen, but if it is, I'll be very happy because maybe that's going to be the next thing. Maybe like there'll be another like little lovey-dovey situation. Maybe Carrion does get with the witch.
I like when there's little side love stories too.
Yeah.
I think it's cute. But do you want to talk about the scene with the God of Chaos and the two twin son daughters?
It was a lot. The daughters loved Kingfisher apparently, like the twins, but they're like,
Kingfisher, can I be with him? It was so funny.
And so I guess they would
Can't
never
blame them.
allow their father to hurt him. So those two little god girls, I don't know what they are,
God girls.
sons. Oh, not god sons, but they're the twin sons that
Yes.
follow that realm.
So he might be the God of Chaos, but he's got the daughters.
Yeah,
They got him wrapped
he's a
around their
sweetie.
finger, so like they won't hurt Kingfisher. It was funny.
So the deal was she was supposed to be born Fae. So that's why Mom, the Oracle, kept seeing her as a Fae with the canines.
Mm-hmm.
But she technically now, because she got changed, is half Fae, half vampire. So maybe the mom wasn't seeing her in a different realm. Maybe the mom is just seeing so far into the future that she had already went through the change. But anyway, I guess the gods feel like they shouldn't exist on the same plane, but every time he tried to remove one or the other or get one or the other killed, he couldn't do it with Kingfisher because his daughters loved him too much, like, to off. So he thought by making Saeris mortal that their paths shouldn't have crossed, but they still crossed. And at this point, he's like, fuck it. I am also known as the god of change. I can will it. I can make you Fae. and I can take you basically out of the meddling of the gods entirely. But that could also be a negative, because now that means gods can't help you again like he is currently helping her.
Correct, yes. But I like that she had the choice, and she chooses her mate. She chooses Kingfisher, and she's like, basically, I'll do whatever I gotta do to be with him.
Well, I choose life any day.
Well, yeah,
choose
obviously.
life.
Obviously, otherwise I think, yeah, she would have died. Because she's like kind of in limbo when she meets the god of chaos. And I also thought it was kind of fucked up that he's like showing her, like, I'm picturing it as, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West when she has that ball, when she's showing Dorothy like her family in there. So that's what I pictured, but like larger, where he's pointing out, like trying to explain stuff to her with like the branches are like dying and how he just basically like killed a whole world of people. And she's like, he just did that. So I was like, damn, like he could just easily like, dead. You all are dead. You're gone. Your whole like realm is gone. I was like, that's crazy as shit. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, this is cool. I like this. But my thing with the end, I just felt it was very anticlimactic when I'm like so excited for her to get back to Kingfisher, and it was just like he was just like, hey, what's up? Like I just felt like it wasn't like, oh, my mate, and it was like not romantic or anything. I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
Well, she was out of it for, I think, a while. I think it was days at least or whatever.
I would have liked their reunion to be a little better, but I guess we'll see some more in the next book. But the whole queen thing, because she killed Malcolm and he didn't have a predecessor, it fell to her. So now she's going to be the queen.
That's interesting to me, because I would have thought Teladius would have been his predecessor.
Me too. But I guess he never named one because he didn't have like official heirs of his own. Whoever kills him becomes
dying.
Right. I mean, he lived how long as it was. Right. He never thought he was going to die. And
yeah, because technically Dianthus's heir should have killed him. So Carrion should have killed him, but he had already made so much like undead and lived so long that he just became too powerful. They made a comment about that at the end. So, I mean, I was going to talk more about Heron, but honestly, he's not even worth talking about. He does come back at the end with the silver eyes, and they have like a battle, and she snaps his neck in the end. But
that's what you get for almost killing me, motherfucker.
Yeah, Madra was so underwhelming.
I know. Like her, I don't know. Her character was just like meh to me, but Bellicon pieced out too. Like, where'd they go? They together somewhere? I feel like we're going to obviously have to bring them back somehow. They don't have an army behind them because the vampires no longer are, doing their bidding for them.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because now if she's the queen, then who the fuck is in charge? And like, now how is everything going to go back in the Fae realm? Like, Bellicon is going to go back onto his little cushy throne, or are people all going to like upthrow him?
There's no way.
Is Carrion going to become the king of the Fae?
I would think so, because that's his birthright.
He was the heir.
That's his bloodline.
Oh, or is it Kingfisher because he's technically the stepson, right?
True. But I think that Carrion's the rightful blood heir to the throne of Yvelia. So I think will probably, and then she's going to be the queen of the vampire. So this will be interesting. Like they'll be able to work in harmony together, which is cool. It'll be different. I wonder how Kingfisher's going to take this role, though, as her being like the queen. Is he going to sit back, or is he going to take like I will be your king?
I don't think so. I think he's going to hang back on that front.
I feel like it didn't really give us a lot of cliffhangers, though, right?
Yeah, I don't want that. Fuck that. I don't want it. I'm happy. I dislike cliffhangers, and that's why I said a 7-star. Yeah. Because it was good throughout. But I liked it more than you, I think, because you immediately were hesitant to give me your rating, whereas I just screamed out 7. So
you're like infinity 7.
Infinities. So if you were gonna leave it off on a cliffhanger, I think it would have been high, like on the God of Chaos when she died.
That would be cool too.
It would have ended there with save her. And then we would have been shitting bricks wondering if she was gonna come back and hate Kingfisher for making that choice for her. That would have been one. But thank you so much,
Callie Hart.
Callie Hart. Thank you so much, Callie Hart, for not doing that and giving me a nice little bow at the end. I'm happy with Queen done. Let's go. Next book.
I'm just wondering where it's going to go now.
I don't need to wonder. I'm happy. I'm content. I shut the book and I shut up.
Obviously, I gave it a 5+ star read and I loved it too, but I was just like, I don't know. For me, it was just a little underwhelming. And I guess maybe because the most recent books have always been a little cliffhanger that I'm just like, there's not really a cliffhanger. We tied it. We're almost like a little bit of a happily ever after, which I love happily ever afters. You know how I am with the rom-coms, but I don't know.
Yeah, but she wanted more. Oh, there you are, Kingfisher. I'm back for you. Ugh.
Come love me.
And then, you would have liked this one too. They embrace, she cries, and then they pull apart, and then she smacks him. How dare you?
I would like that too.
Yeah.
How dare you turn me into a half vampire, by the way.
And then angry makeup sex.
Oh, can we speak about chapter 37, people? Chapter 30 fucking 7. Holy balls to the walls. Thank you, Anthony Palomini, for your voice of Kingfisher, because holy shit, that chapter was amazing. I loved it. Holy moly. If you know, you know.
Nobody will ever fuck you the way I'm about to fuck you, Saeris Fane. I'm about to introduce you to all 7 gods. When you meet them, don't forget to tell them I'm the one you worship on your knees.
I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get home, honey. TMI.
I mean, I did,
and I apologize in advance. No, I don't. I don't apologize at all.
You did? No, you apologized at the end. You didn't apologize in advance. You literally did the whole thing and then said, I apologize.
Just kidding. I don't. I don't apologize. It's making me right now thinking about it. I gotta go listen to it after this.
So on that note, definitely pick up Brimstone. I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. I want to point out, very shocked about your rating being so high for a first book in the series. That's not like you. So congratulations and welcome to the Infinity Stars.
Tell me where the plot holes were. It all got tied up in a bow. There doesn't need to be another book. There didn't need to be another book for me. And there wasn't hours and days worth of world building.
True.
Because it was like lightly sprinkled in. It wasn't like we had to build this whole like complicated thing. It was just very cut and dry.
I do agree with you on that. Sometimes it's too much world building and it distracts me from the actual plot.
Yeah. So you can be
I agree with you.
multi-book series and get a 5-star from me. You can.
Mm-hmm. I see. Hey, I get you. I'm proud of you. High five to the phone.
High five. Cheat. But anyways.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you loved Quicksilver like we did. Let us know your thoughts. If you didn't after, we want to know why. And check out our next episode coming when it comes. Thanks so much. Bottoms up.
Well, you're gone. Your whole drink's gone.
Yeah, it's been gone.
Usually I finish them before you do.
I know. It was really good, actually. We're going to make it this weekend, and then we'll show you. We'll make it the real with the lychee.
And we'll make it together, not apart. So, yay!
Bye.